Society has all these rules, right? In nature, what you see is what you get.
Missed you. Thank you for coming here. It means a lot. Kyle, this is Nolan.
Happy to finally meet you.
Heard you're a hell of a hunter.
Mr. MacDonald, sir, how are you doing?
Hey, Howard, it's been a while, man.
Been a minute, yeah. How are you doing?
Good. It's been, I
You've
think,
been?
10 years.
Has it been that long, really?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you did that great article with Missy, that interview. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. And then you did
Even
that
though
great
she
little,
Huh?
and then you did that great little greeting by the shrub
Yeah,
in your back garden or something like that. That was really
Sure.
great.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. It was really appreciated that. Listen, so huge congratulations on the film. Wow, this is brilliant. I loved it.
You did? Oh, good. Really? Oh, great.
Absolutely loved it. Because I was out. I mean, I wasn't concerned it was going to be very, very similar to the bear film that you've done, because I know that you don't like repeating yourself, of course. But because it was obviously the same actress, the same lead actress, and it was kind of set in the same kind of thing, I was kind of wondering where you were going to go with it. And I just loved it to bits. It's brilliant. So congratulations on the movie.
Thank you so much, Howard. It means a lot, man.
So I mean, the first thing I want to ask you is, obviously, having done a bear attack movie, then Deep in the Woods, what was it about this one that kind of specifically drew you to do a similar movie, but to kind of turn it completely on its head?
A couple reasons. Maybe one was like, I learned so much doing backcountry, and I love the woods, and I love like the whole element of the emotional core between the actors. Even in backcountry, like that emotional part, I wanted to go to another level. So, and honestly, to work with Missy again too, we really wanted to work together. And she's from Vancouver, right? So like the dirt bikes and all that stuff, like she was very excited about doing it.
Yeah, she did all that.
We finally, yeah, she did a lot of it. Like she's on the bike. She pulls, it's her pulling up, it's her leaving.
Right.
And yeah, she's the real deal. And she suits the character. It's hard to find the perfect Sophie, right? And she embodied that character perfectly. And I even think because we were going to shoot this movie like 8 years ago, but now that she's matured, Joris is matured, who gave me the original idea to the movie. Like I just think it has a deeper meaning now. They have more history, but I also want it to be like Backcountry was much more serene and like quieter and more like I guess more of a slow burn, where I wanted to go, okay, let's go Dunkirk now. Let's go Fury Road a bit. Let's go 40 minutes in. Boom. We're like, we don't stop to the end. Yeah. And then, yeah.
But at the same time, something that I love about you, I mean, it does start off as a slow burn, but I kind of felt like you still had that Adam MacDonald barometer going on there, that you wanted to show, not just in terms of kind of like the attack, but also the characters. You wanted to kind of slowly peel away both the gore and the characters. That must have been a really difficult balance now to pull off.
Yeah, it was. But like Enuka Okuma was a writer on this one, so we worked together that way. And she constructed a really, really strong script. And when the actors came in, they make it their own a little bit. We fine tune it. We bring some nuances, and just to know like not to be cookie cutter anything. Like when they come on, they have a history. They all have a history. They're all complicated. They're all, Nolan may seem like he's full of himself at the beginning, and a know-it-all, a bit of a, he's trying to like, he basically picks a fight with him at one point because he's kind of telling him, hey, and he's right.
Yeah.
Like at the moment on the couch, if you think about it, he's like, listen, I know the story here, man. Just know that I know, and back off, whatever. Just know that I know. And it's like, yeah, you get a little drunk and everything, but you kind of sympathize with him because he's in a weird position too. But of course, as the movie evolves, like, well, the characters are more meaningful, they're deeper, and I love that stuff. So I was always monitoring where they were at each point, not to get too emotional, not too on the nose. There's subtleties, there's a heartbreak. Like unreciprocated love is tragic in a way. Like this guy harbored his whole life. It's
Yeah.
it's hard.
I mean, you mentioned there that kind of like he wants to mark his territory. He's like, I know what's happened, I know what you've done, but this is the limit. So I'm imagining you kind of delve deep into how wolves operate to kind of build your characters as well in a way, no? I imagine. I felt that anyway, yeah.
Oh, no, 100%. We talked about that quite a bit. And like the little, like, obviously people hopefully notice like she's in a red hoodie, right? For a reason.
Right.
Right? It's an actual Little Red Riding Hood movie, but no one's talking about it.
No.
Yours is the wolf, and the wolves are the wolves. Come on. No, yeah, well, yes, we did talk about it. And wolves, obviously, that's not exactly how they behave all the time. They can behave that way. There's 2 accounts in the last 10 years that are pretty horrific. But the fact that, yeah, like the couple, they're, the 3 of them are like a pack of wolves. And he's, Kyle's the beta, seeing an opportunity to take over the pack as the alpha. She's the alpha female, Noel's the alpha male. And when they go out there, things, he sees his opportunity, which is a line in the film. When nature sees an opportunity, you take it. So he takes his opportunity, and it's like, it's really conscious of like making it, well, it's also nature that rights the wrong, right? Nature is the one that balances it at the end. It's the wolves. The wolves are the metaphor for their relationship, the 3 of them, and the fact that Kyle and Sophie's can't move forward anymore. It has to end. It has to end. And that's the metaphor of the wolf. So at the end of the movie, obviously it's similar to what happens. I don't want to give it away, but like, you know what I mean? Like something happens in the middle of the movie, and then something happens again that's very similar. So it's like nature's balanced the horror, right? That's the opening shot's upside down. That's when he walks up to the door. It's
beautifully shot, by the way. Now they mention that, it's beautifully shot.
Fantastic. My buddy.
Talking about metaphors, also, you also talk about Nolan's character. He's a reporter. We can say that much. He's a reporter, and he wants to kind of investigate, kind of taking things back to basics, seeing how people used to bring the food to the table. No, was there any specific reason why you wanted him to kind of do that in the film? Was there any reason maybe why you wanted to show maybe younger people how easy they have it compared to how maybe you and I did when we were kids?
I'm not sure. I just wanted we wanted a really, really, really good reason why he was there, and why she couldn't just teach him, because now that she's retired hunter, she just can't do it anymore. Her explanation about the deer, what she saw, what she encountered. So, and also that we wanted to make him the antithesis of Kyle's character.
Right.
And so that was the opposite of him. He runs a magazine. He's an editor-in-chief at this big magazine, right? And he's, showing off in a way, look at how he's dressed, and he's going to go out in the woods and like do this article, but he's arrogant that way. And that was the whole idea too. Like, we as people, we're comfortable and everything, but that's the line, like nature shows you who you really are. So he gets out there, and it's not what you think. It's not what you think is going to happen when you're out there and you're faced with predatory animals or the nature's elements. You're going to find out who you are pretty quick. And that's that, when he's holding the gun, trying to shoot the deer, he finds out in that moment. He's humbled. That's what he reads, right? Like if you watch his character, Nolan, as soon as he can't do that, he's humbled. He thought he could, he couldn't. So he's like, wow, I'm not who I thought I was. Then it goes to another level.
Right. Talking of humbling, there's a quote in the film. It says that in the jungle, we're basically animals. Nature has a way of showing you how you really are. So I imagine, you've shot a few films deep in the woods now. That must have been really humbling, not just as a director when you get there and all these, you have to tackle nature when it comes, but as a person as well. So I'm quite curious.
Sorry about that. Ooh.
What was that?
All right. No, it's the fire truck. Sorry.
So no, I was just going to say, how humbling or what did you kind of learn about yourself as a director and a person going out into kind of the wilds, and because obviously it's not the same as the film, but it's not far off, really.
No, and also working with the people and the crew and everything. You're exposed, right? You have an imagination. You try to put it all together, and it's something that is personal to me, and then I go out there and expose it, what I want to do. So yeah, but of course, nature. Even if we're like doing backcountry, I got so cold one night. I think I was flirting with hypothermia. I don't know, because I went back to the hotel and I got into the bathtub and I couldn't get warm for like a day. I was shivering first. I was very scared at one point, and then I was fine. And then I learned never to dress, too light again, because the temperature dropped one night really bad, and we didn't see it coming. And of course, yeah, shooting in the elements, the bruises, the light, you're at the mercy of the weather, you're at the mercy of the elements. but it's also invigorating, you know? It's invigorating. So if anything, you learn about yourself out there, but it doesn't have to be a negative thing. It doesn't, like, nature will humble you. Listen, the business will humble you. You don't need nature to humble you. The business will humble you first. So when you're already out and shooting your movie, you're like, I'm good. I'm already like, I got slapped around enough, so I'm good. You know?
Yeah, because I mean, it took you long enough to make this movie. So once you're out there, you're just like thankful that you're out there. No, I
Let's
imagine,
go.
yeah.
Let's go. Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I also your films never have a great deal of music or sound in them, not too much. In this film, there's just one song note by the Honeymoon Suites, "Burning in Love." But I
That's
get a
right.
funny feeling. A lot of the photos I see you with like your earbuds on, like maybe you listen to a lot of music while you're directing or you maybe while you're shooting. How important is music to you when you're filming a film?
Oh, massive. Massive. It's all musical in my mind. The movement or the shots or this, it's always thought in images and music. Music's huge for me, huge. And like that's why like another Brit, Lee Malia, did the music for this one from Bring Me the Horizon, right? So he's a very accomplished musician, and you know he would do these soundscapes or come in and do these unique kind of like melodies because he's not really a traditional film composer. So the music is very important to me. But as I shoot, of course, I mean, I listen to, you know, it's nerve-wracking shooting the movies, and I listen to Injustice for All, Black End, every morning driving to work. Black End and Shortest Straw. Those two back to back. Boom, to not give up because it's really hard out there. And but that's the energy I was trying to capture on those dirt bikes as well. So of course, it's always music is huge for me.
And do you relay the same kind of things to your actors and the rest of the crew? Like listen to this or listen to this to kind of get them into a
Only
scene or anything
once.
like that? Yeah.
Only once. It's so funny because there's a scene that was cut out of Backcountry.
Right.
Missy, this is so like perverse, like where Missy was supposed to see like a shadow of a bear. She thought it was the bear, and she attacked it in anger with a stick that she was carrying while she was limping with her foot. Out of anger, she was letting out all that energy. Ultimately, we cut it out of the film, but I had her listen to a "Bring Me the Horizon" song called funny, weirdly enough, It Never Ends. And she got it. That brought her into that space. And then she, you know, stopped. And then lo and behold, Lee was doing the music for Pyewacket after. So it was just kind of wild. But I told him, like, I listened to some of their music when I was shooting that movie specifically. And that's how we got one of their songs for the movie. And then he wrote that melody, that beautiful strain when they first arrive in the canoe. He wrote that melody. So I was like, do you want to do it? And then he came on Wolf, and he was perfectly suited for the movie. It was really fun working with him too. He was really good, really good.
We've got 2 minutes left, so I can't not talk about working with the wolves because a lot of these kind of creature features, I hate seeing them. Even if they're really, really, really well digitalized with computers and stuff, it just pulls me all the way out. But this didn't, because you just use, like, as with everything, very sparingly and just enough to make it really work. So can you tell me a little bit about how you worked with the wolves and how much time you actually spent with wolves on there?
The film was shot in 16 days. That's it. And the wolves were shot over 3 days in Alberta. So the actors never met a wolf. They never saw a wolf. So we shot with the stunt people and the real wolves in an environment that was very similar. So we had to pick where the sun would be, the poplars and the pines, all that stuff to match. Like the tree he's on was the closest match we could find in our woods. Can't tell. So, and the sun was in the right direction. We had to be in this side. So when we were there, it had to be this side, you know, so we timed everything to make sure. But the wolves, yeah, they're beautiful. They're big. I was very intimidated by them, but also enamored with them because they're beautiful. I met them once when I first arrived at Andrew Simpson's compound, or his compound, his sanctuary of wolves, I should say. And he's got such a great relationship with them. And I couldn't do the movie without Andrew Simpson. I mean, this guy did, you know, his wolves have been in Game of Thrones. Like, he's the wolf man. You know, he's the guy. I can't do the movie without him. No way. So he was on board for 4 years before we shot. I kept promising we'll do it. Didn't want anybody else but him. I did a previs of it. We went through everything. I went to meet the wolves in the winter. We went over it 1,000 times, every shot, everything that we needed. And those wolves were amazing. And I got everything I wanted. And it was very like, I knew their limits. So we were like trying to like, making what we had the best it could be, like I did the bear. But we would really meticulously, we went over the wolf shots, I think probably 50 times. Constantly. He had me out there shooting. I did the previs 3 times. Yeah, it was, there were storyboards, previs, there was everything. So, but they were intimidating. They're big, and they're big. And I'm with you. I don't CG wolves I'm like, ugh.
Yeah,
like it's because we feel it when we see that they're real. Our DNA goes, whoa, right? We go, whoa. When you see
it's like watching a documentary, but then if you see something CGI, it's like,
I'm good. I'm not gonna get attacked by a computer generated animal. I'm good. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
When you see the real one, you're like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you absolutely nailed the wolf scenes. Well, you nailed the whole film. Listen, before I go, I just want to say, it's just a completely off topic, but I would just coincidentally was reading this the same time that I watched it, and I highly recommend this. And if anyone would do a great
Once There Were Wolves.
Once There Were Wolves.
Cool.
So if you ever fancy a read, if you fancy making an adaptation, you'd be perfect for an adaptation of this. It's a great book.
Once We're
Wolves by Charlotte McConaughey.
Cool. Yes. I'll mark that down.
I'm going to wrap, so I've got to leave you. A huge congratulations on the movie. Fantastic. Can't wait to speak to you again another time sometime soon. And I can't wait for people to see the movie because it's fantastic.
Anytime, Howard. Always a pleasure.
All right. Great to see you again. Take care of yourself. Okay. All right. Cheers, Adam.
Bye,
all right. Bye now. Cheers.
I don't know what game you're playing. Why are you lying to me?
It's not the one for you.
What did you just say?
He's not for you.